welcome back to my channel. So in today's video is the long-awaited requested video talking about my adventures in babysitting. Without further ado, let's just begin. I am going to be including not only story times of like some funny things that the kids said, but I am also going to be explaining kind of like, like how I got into the job and if I liked it, and kind of going through my, as I call it, my nanny bag. Anyways, okay, putting on how I got into this job. So if you guys are new, before getting into back into Lane Bryant, I actually was a behavior therapist for, I'd say, about almost a year. I really loved the job, even though it had its struggles. Behavior therapy, especially for kiddos that are on the spectrum, is the side of behavior therapy that I got into as a RBT, but more of a BT because I was not registered. That's registered behavior therapist. I really, it was a tough job, you know. We were not supposed to like react to the kids, like having more of like problematic behaviors, and there was some specific things that we had to do that I did not really agree with. The company that I worked with pretty much, they like were desperate for behavior therapists and people, and that's how I got into it. I didn't even get interviewed. My sister was the one who got interviewed, and she asked the boss if I could join in with her, and she said yes. So anyways, yeah. Although I do not regret my time working with the children and helping them feel their feelings and be there for emotional support, it's a really hard experience, I guess. I would say I don't regret the kids at all. I actually loved all my little kiddos that I was with and helped. There was this one client that I had who, she like absolutely loved me and she's my absolute favorite, and it was very hard because she was very like reluctant to connect with, and as soon as we clicked, like, I knew like, um, some of her behaviors, and I just feel like we had a really fun time together, and not going into specifics, but she was on the spectrum, and she also had ADHD and everything, and it like her behaviors were very, I'd say, problematic for a 5-year-old, but I also very much like understood, and I pretty much, I understood her. She was really into more of the scary, problematic, very violent, like watching violent videos like Huggy Wuggy, and I think it was like Scaredy Cat or something like that. And she was 7 or 6, I believe, 7 years old. And yeah, so we were trying to stray away from her watching the problematic videos. Although, like, I could understand because at a young age, my parents actually, or my dad actually got me into Chucky. So that is also why I had a childhood fear of this, like, doll that looked like a clown. That was very scary, and I always thought he was the clown, lovingly by my mom referred to as Clowny. I thought that brownie came alive and like tried to kill me, So I can see how the like being introduced to violent things at a young age can really affect your childhood development, because I honestly have a lot of PTSD from my childhood. But anyways, okay, so pretty much that job, like I really loved it, and although I didn't really love the company, it was kind of shady. They were doing something really like very sketchy things, and I did not agree with some of the protocols when the kids were enacting in their uh, improper behavior, I guess. So if there was a kid who had a tantrum and would drop on the ground and scream in the hallways and stuff and was enacting in the tantrum, we had to verbally state a demand saying like, let's go to our room, and like we're going to your room, and then we had to say that like a couple times, and then we'd have to point, which yeah, it's weird, and then we had to physically grab the child and move them to the room after a set amount of time, and I did not really feel comfortable grabbing the children. So I feel like that is not the way to really help them. I would just, if it was for me, I would just like, like just ignore them and like just wait until their tantrum's done. But anyways, yeah, so pretty much I ended up leaving the company, but I really missed working with children. And it didn't even have to be like children on the spectrum. I learned a lot about myself through working with these children, though. And I feel like it was fun, had some challenges. I ended up leaving the company, but I did really miss working with children in general. So a year later, I decided to apply to working as an in-home nanny through this company, which I will not be naming. There is some nanny apps like care.com, Jovi. I think there's other ones, but those are the ones on top of my head. Uh, and if you're curious as to like babysitters and stuff, so the company like hires out like the nannies, and basically sometimes it's on an app, sometimes it's not, but basically the uh, parents can request a nanny on an app and schedule a nanny, and a nanny will come to their home or their place of choice. So pretty much I uh, found that place through Indeed.com, applied to the nanny place, and got hired. And it was a very long hiring process because you're working with kids in people's homes. They don't want you to be a sketchy person. So they pretty much, I had like, they called and interviewed three of my references, interviewed me like 2 times, and took a look at all my employment history before deciding to hire me. And I guess I should say I worked with the company Jovi. But yeah, anyways, if you guys are curious and are looking for in-home nannies, it was a really good company, and I did really love working with them. The specific like role model leader or the boss that was in my region, I did not enjoy her very much, but that is not aside from the families. The boss pretty much like wasn't really the best, very communicative. I ended up calling out a lot because of my personal health and my mental health, and she did not like that, and she also withheld like some constructive criticism. Actually, like didn't tell me that she was gonna write me up, because we had this event that I was scheduled for, and I came to the event, and they told me that I could leave early. And I cleaned up everything, made everything look nice, and I even verified that I could leave early with the person in charge, and they said yes. And then um, they called my manager and said that like I left without permission and left super early and made everybody stay late, even though they said I could leave early. And like uh, they they told me, they like suggested that I left early. There wasn't anything going on. It's just like there was a lot to do, and there was 5 nannies during that time. So yeah. But then when I called out one time during the summertime, my boss, like it was like probably 3 weeks later, my boss was like, "Oh yeah," because she was mad. She was like, "By the way, we got a call from these people, and this is what happened, and they said that you left early. I'm gonna write you up," and without really giving me a chance to speak on my side of things. So it was very unprofessional in a stance that like um, is like a company, I guess. But yeah, I do really still love like Jovi as a whole. I just didn't like that particular boss. But anyways, so I got hired at Jovi, and it was really fun. I babysat like probably like 20, 30 kids. And it was nice because I could make my own hours. The pay was really nice, but that's not about, me. I was with kids. I had fun. We went to the park. I got paid to color, you know. Yeah. So it was very fun. There was there were specific times that the kids did some funny things. Like this one time, I think I had this kid a couple times sat him, and he is very like literal. And so we were heading to the park, and I wanted to make it fun. Instead of us walking, I'm like, should we skip to the park? And he goes, no. And I'm like, should we race to the park? And he goes, no. And I go, should we stomp like a dinosaur to the park? And he goes, no, we should walk on our feet to the park. And I go, okay. The way he said it though was very like, we should do this. You're like, super weird, But I just wanted to make it fun because we were just walking, and I just like to play with kids, like that. So yeah, it was very interesting. I actually ended up, funny story, I ended up spraining my foot with this kid babysitting. I got new glasses. This was in like April, and their backyard like had like a step down that was like a cement stair, and we were walking to the park, but like we had to go through the backyard to get to the park. And so I stepped down, and I didn't even see the stair, and I stepped and I fell down. And the kid was in front of me, and he was like, he just turns over and he sees me on my back, like trying to get up and trying to hobble back onto my feet. And he goes, what are you doing? And he's like 3 years old. I think he was 3. Yeah. And he goes, what are you doing? And I go, oh, I was just like, I didn't want to scare him. So I was like, oh yeah, I was just rolling. I don't know. And he goes, Oh, I usually roll over there, and he like points to this field, or not this field, but like the in his backyard, a patch of grass and stuff. And it was so funny. At the time I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for not letting him see me fall down. And the whole time, like after that, I was like limping and trying not to like go on my feet too much and walk on my foot. And yeah, he like was like stare like, what are you doing? And it was pretty funny. And he also was super cute because the same day, like after I injured myself, we were in the across the field or across the street in like the field by the park, and was he like looked at me, and we were like trying to race each other, but like with me being injured, I was like hobbling, you know. And he goes, we run and then jump, and he jumped, and I was like, yeah, and then run. Like I tried to run, and then I like jumped, but I was like this, I was like you know, so I don't like land on both my feet. And he's like, no, Miss Nicole, like this. And he was like showing me how to jump in with like both his feet, you know. And he like was like, you can do this, you know. It was so cute. He was so sweet. Oh man, I miss him. But yeah, he was super fun. um Trying to think of other times. I babysat this other family sometimes too, and like a handful of times. And because with Jovi, you can actually save like the babysitter, so like you can schedule babysitters sometimes if they have the same times. And so I pretty much like this family was very fun. Let's see, what was I gonna say? And it was two little kids, and they like were super fun. I always brought like coloring with them to like with us, or with me, so we can color together, and they had a blast. And then I also babysat some other like another family who it was during Christmas time, and we made gingerbread houses together, which was super fun. Yeah, I really, there wasn't a lot of like funny things except for that one kid, but like it was super fun. I loved like just like building relationships with the kids and like, you know, them being super excited when I came over. And I ended up pretty much stopping babysitting with Jovi though, because I did not like the way that my boss was treating me. And you know, I didn't really find as much enjoyment uh out of like the career that I thought I would. Although don't get me wrong, I loved like being with the kids. I just like, I felt like that time in my life was coming to a close. And so uh although I stopped babysitting for Jovi, I continued babysitting for a family who um, they just really wanted me. So I babysat them on the side, and they were super fun. Their two daughters I babysat, and actually stayed the weekend one time for them to like house sit, but like I was babysitting their kids too. And yeah, it was super fun. Like the little girl, like the oldest, was like really into Disney princesses and starting to get into it. We watched like Frozen like a million times. But yeah, it was super fun. And that was during the summertime. And then actually quite recently in October, I decided to stop babysitting them, because I wasn't like feeling like I could babysit them anymore, I guess. Not that like I could, it's just that like I had a lot of like things on my mind. want to be an author, still doing the YouTube career thing, even though I'm not getting money for it, as well as like, wanted to take care of my family and be there for my boyfriend. And while I was like also babysitting the girls, like I had started my job at Lane Bryant. So I was working 2 jobs pretty much. And for me personally, I cannot work 2 jobs. It's just a lot on my mind. So yeah, I ended up letting them know that I was no longer going to be babysitting the girls. And although it was sad, I feel like it was it was much needed, and although I do not regret like my time with them, I do miss the 2 little girls a lot. But my light is getting a little dark, so I'm sorry in advance. But yeah, I feel like babysitting was a lot of fun, and I still also like do it kind of. Every Sunday I go to church and I help with the kids group, and I actually found that through Jovi as well. Um, and yeah, I am very appreciative of Jovi and just being able to find a church that I love. Have the experiences that I have, and yeah, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I also realized we forgot to go through my nanny bag. So as a nanny, if you're interested in this career as well, or this job as well, and you do or you have gotten hired as a nanny, this is my tips and tricks for you. um, have your phone on you a lot, obviously, because the families will text you if they need you, and vice versa. Also to set schedules too. Usually I would call the families ahead of time, and kind of see like what, most importantly to look out for is what the kids enjoy, and what their like routine is. Otherwise, or like um, what time's breakfast, what time's lunch, what time's dinner, so what time do they eat, if they can or can't watch TV, let's see, what games do they like to play, what do they like to play, can you go outside, can you not go outside together, all that fun stuff you'll need to know. Are they potty trained or are they potty training, all that stuff. So um, I will be also going through, so keep your phone at you at all times. And I would also recommend getting a pretty big bag, to carry stuff in. Not only will you need probably a change of clothes, because you will probably get peed on if you have like different, or like getting your clothes dirty, um, if you have like different ages or something. Yeah, definitely keep a spare like pair of leggings or like a t-shirt on. Don't wear anything too fancy, which is also why I decided not to pursue babysitting anymore, because you guys know how much I love dressing up. So, and also why I have a visceral reaction whenever I try to wear leggings or jeans now. And I would also recommend getting like a stack of like things that like the kids would enjoy. I decided to grab some like coloring books with like a whole bunch of I would recommend markers or crayons. Depending on the age, don't give them a choice. They will always choose markers, and their hands are going to be all dirty. But I would definitely say give them crayons, or if they can handle the markers, give them markers. Also, again, apologies for advance for the lighting. It's like nearing 5 o'clock right now and it's getting dark, but I'm just gonna hurry this up. I would also recommend looking for a purse that has like a little pocket or like a little privacy thing. So usually with this purse, it has like a zipper pocket in the middle, and that's where I would keep my lunch, my keys, everything that's important to me, like my wallet in there. So yes. And then on the other side, I also have like construction paper too for the kids to play. And this is also where I kept like little crafts and stuff. And yeah, it's construction paper. And yeah, pretty much like I noticed that the kids really, depending on the ages, like they loved either uh they mostly loved the coloring. Of course, like the kids will have a plethora of toys when you're there. But this is just something interesting because I feel like, the kids always love getting new things to play with. So, yeah, that's what I personally recommend is carrying a nanny bag around, extra clothes, some fun things for the kids like coloring books, and definitely uh, don't let them touch like your privacy, like stuff, like the wallets, the keys, all that fun stuff. So yeah, I had this one time where one of the kids like went through my middle section where I kept my important stuff and my lunch, and they like grabbed the lunch and they were like, I want to eat this. And I was like, no, that's my lunch. And they were very upset that they could not eat my lunch, even though like they had food at home and stuff. Yeah, very funny, but yes, those are the things to keep in mind too. But yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Again, apologies in advance for the lighting. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for tuning in to this story time, and hopefully it helped you answer some questions as a babysitter. Hopefully it like helped you like, you know, be entertained as well as kind of learn more a little bit about me. Yeah, although I don't regret like babysitting at all, and like I don't entirely miss it. I just miss the kids really. But I am very happy in the my career right now. But yeah, I feel like it's a really fun experience, and I'm very grateful for Jovi for letting me be a part of their team as a role model or babysitter. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.